Hello wonderful internet people, Liam Taylor Guitar here. That is both my name and the instrument I play, and I figure actually we've been kind of short on the guitar content for a while. It's tricky because there's so many guitar people on YouTube doing either a really good job or a really trashy job of reporting on the world of guitar. So I thought we'd go, you know, all in on the guitar thing today, and I would talk about all of my guitars. I mean, I can't count that high, but there's at least like 3 at least. So yeah, that's what we're going to do in roughly chronological order. So starting off with this guy. Hello. This was my very first guitar. I like painting things, and I like gluing things to stuff. Those are like 2 things about my person that you now know. I mean, that's just a solid skin of dust there. This was a Rockwood, I think, were the manufacturer. Rockwood. Yeah, because then after I got this guitar, I also got some Rockwood shoes, so that company was clearly diversifying. Rockwood Strat that I got secondhand in, Christ, 2004? Yeah, must have been 2004, 2005. Still in secondary school, last year or last 2 years of secondary school. I decided I want to play guitar. I'd played piano for a couple of years and was sort of losing interest in it. So my dad takes me to a second-hand shop, asked me which one I want, and I said, that one looks cool. It was the only black one, and black was the coolest colour for guitars when you're 15 years old. So that's what we had. So eventually I realised, time for an upgrade. I do exactly the same thing. I go and I look for a second-hand guitar. I end up with this chap here. Didn't come with all the sellotape on it. No. That was an adaptation I made. I think I named it Captain McTaggart. It was fine. I got it because AC/DC. Basically, it had the SG thing where you wear it, and if you're not holding it, it just gradually slips down, and it's really annoying. And the reason it's not got a bridge on it, I have this thing where I like using guitars as percussion instruments, so I got some drumsticks and I just liked bashing it. Basically have like a kind of sitar sounding drone. Let's see if it makes noise. It doesn't make sound. We perhaps shouldn't be surprised by that. It's been behind my computer for like the last 6 years. And it is also covered in dust, as now am I. Moving on. Guitar number 3 is behind. So this was the first brand new guitar I ever owned. Epiphone, Black Beauty, 3 pickups. I added these gold plated humbuckers and a lady to it, and that tells you a lot about who I was when I was 17. Got these strap locks as well. Strap locks which I sort of hate. They basically work, but I still hate them. Yeah, I like this guitar a lot. This was sort of the guitar I got when I kind of realised, and other people kept telling me that actually I was quite good at guitar. So I wanted to kind of embrace that by having something quite over the top, and like, you know, the Les Paul body, the Les Paul shape embodies a lot of coolness for guitar, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. And actually the 3 pickup thing was very cool, and I've got the string saver graphite bits on the bridge, I've got these gold rings on the pickups, and then I've got a pair of Seymour Duncans, and then a high output EMG, and some kind of Kent Armstrong tone thing. Yeah, it's pretty dope. And then for no reason I swapped out the tuners as well. Stickers. This is not the height that I have my guitars. So this was the guitar I had when I went to music college in Norwich. And like, I remember having my interview, and I hadn't prepared anything. I just sort of turned up, and the guys were talking to me like, well, what do you want to do? I want to write music and I want to play guitar live. Duh. What does everyone else want to do? And I think they sort of heard me say that, looked at my guitar, and they were like, oh, you're one of them. You're going to be one of them students. And I was. I was perhaps not a very cool person at 17. But then show me a 17-year-old that is, right? None of you are cool. No sound. But that's perhaps to be expected. I sort of just like having it as like a relic of the person I used to be. You know, stuff like that. Oh, I'm just covered in crap. Okay, these next two I'm actually not sure on the order. Dean. Quite like Dean. Fretless bass. I still like fretless over fretted basses. I just feel like I can kind of zip around and do an awful lot of cool stuff with a fretless bass. There is no battery, and I don't have any 9 volts, and also I think the output is screwed. So yeah, I should maybe give this a bit more attention, because this is actually the only bass I own, so I should get better at recording actual bass into my projects. The thing I find is that for some reason in this space, like, it's hard to record bass instruments, so I tend to just use VSTs instead. And I have a bass amp, and I have a lot of nice like bass mics and stuff, and DIs and all the kit, but I just can't get it sounding right, you know? So I don't know, one day. Another Dean, quite fond of Dean. Sarasota 12-string electric, hollow body, semi-hollow, whatever. I think my 17th birthday, my parents gave me the option of having driving lessons or doing anything else, and I was like, nah man, I want a guitar. And this was the guitar. You know what, you got to plug it in the other end, otherwise it won't do anything. Lag. Acoustic guitar. It was fine. Never sounded amazing. It was alright. It wasn't massively expensive, so I didn't really care. Things started to fall off it. It's not that I necessarily took bad care of it, it's just that stuff started falling off it. I sort of stopped playing it for fear of more stuff falling off. Yeah, you can see that one gold tuner that clearly isn't supposed to be there. Sort of when stuff started falling off of it, I kind of stopped playing it. But recently I got this stand which just lets guitars stand up. So I've put some strings on it. Ooh, out of tune, that's good. So this like doesn't really stay in tune, which is annoying. But what I've done at the moment, I've just got this stand so like I've incorporated it into my percussion rig. I mean, it's not a good idea, but it is what's happening. Fender Telecaster. Actual Fender Telecaster. Had the pickup swapped out because I didn't know what a Telecaster was supposed to sound like, I guess. I got this because I was mad into Status Quo. Still like Status Quo. Bigsby doesn't really work. I think it's missing a spring or something. Yeah, spent quite a lot of money on this. More money than like perhaps I realistically should have. But it was I think it was like my 21st birthday present to myself, or like it was savings that my grandparents gave me combined with some of my own money, I think, and then I got myself this. I still like it. I like breaking it out because it's got a nice crunch to it. Let's plug it in. So what's fun about that one is I've actually got it in, it's open G, except that the low E string in open G doesn't sound great, so actually I've just drop tuned it a whole bunch. Swapped out pickups for, I don't even know, DiMarzio, Seymour's, not really sure. Oh, so nice. Where's my pick? Ooh. I have no idea what tuning that's in. EKO or Echo, not sure, 12-string acoustic guitar. I inherited this from my aunt when she passed away. My paternal aunt by marriage. Yeah. And like you see a few pictures, there's like pictures of Slash with one of these, I think, and like realizing she had one was like, oh, that's so cool, because what Slash owned was important to me back then. So when she passed away, I think I got this one and my brother got another one of her guitars. It's a really nice one, really nice sounding one. I know that Sai's always here and he usually plays this one, and that's why it's in a weird tuning. Or is it G? It's not open G. Whatever. I've got other stuff like harmonicas and mandolins, but I think we'll have to do another video on other instruments because there's just so many. Not that I can play any of them, this is just what I own. Okay, this is when stuff starts to get serious, I guess. Court M600T. Love this guitar, still play it an awful lot. Music college I went to, Access to Music in Norwich. They had, all of their guitar teachers had an endorsement with Court, and like the idea of free stuff really appealed to me, free guitar stuff as well. So I was like, well, what have I got to do, you know? And basically because I was teaching at the time, they were really open. The retailers for Court at the time, they were really open to the idea of endorsing me, or me endorsing them. I'm really not sure which way around it is. They had an open day, bought a bunch of Court guitars in, played a M600T blue, exactly like this one. I was like, yeah, gotta have one. And then I looked at the price and was like, oh no, I really gotta have one. That would have been, oh man, maths, maybe 2008. How old would I have been in 2008? 21? I should really know that. Really liked that it could do the crunchy stuff. Love that it had a whammy bar. That was fun, because of course I was into Joe Satriani at the time. Yeah, but I also loved like how it cleans up as well. The thing that bugs me a little bit about this guitar is the bridge. If you tune one of your strings, or one of your string goes out of tune, they all go out of tune. So that's a bit of a pain in the butt. But actually, as a studio guitar, fine, perfectly fine. That was kind of a turning point. It was that was around about the time when I stopped actually only listening to rock and metal, and I started listening to funk, hip-hop, jazz, whatever else that wasn't just rock, metal and blues. This guitar sort of signifies that for me, I think. And got really into like Osric Tentacles and stuff, so being able to do like the really nice funky clean stuff and then like just shred it with the whammy bar as well, that was like a nice it was nice. So then there was about 6 years of not buying a guitar, which is the longest I think I've ever been without buying a guitar. But I was buying lots of other stuff. I was getting into synths, I was getting into recording digitally, like I was into other stuff. So it wasn't like I stopped throwing money at music kit. It's just that guitars weren't at the forefront. And I don't remember the date for this one, but you know what? I put a video up on my YouTube like the day I got it. This cigar box by Stumblecol, dude in Cambridge actually, just up the road from me. Stumblecol.com. I saw a dude who I worked with a little bit. Like I recorded some demos for them before I knew what I was doing with recording. He was playing one of these. Like this is a couple of years after doing these recordings, I saw him playing one of these. I was like blown away. Had to get one. And when I realised the dude was local, hell yeah. 3 strings, C sharp, I think. You've just got C sharp 5 octave. Every song in drop tuning. Yeah, I like it a lot. It was a little bit of an impulse buy, especially because I think I checked out his store online, the builder, and like he mentioned this one being a little weird because I think the neck's a bit deeper, bit chunkier or something, so it's lends itself to a slightly deeper tuning. And I was just like, you mean it's one of a kind? And that's why I bought it. I like using that instrument to kind of evoke a very specific kind of feeling, like really, I don't know, what's like a grungy version of bluegrass? Grunge grass. That should be a thing. I don't want to say this was another impulse buy, because that sort of implies I have money, which I just don't. Banjo. Again, like that sort of hokey flavour, that's really hard to get unless you can actually play those instruments. And I can't, and I don't have the patience to learn. So I figured banjo, halfway house really. Ooh. But I can't really do anything banjo-y on it. So like, again, time in it. Again, for studio stuff where you just want to get like a quick flare of banjo. Like even if you play guitar stuff, it still feels and sounds like a banjo. Court CR Custom Les Paul shape. You know how I feel about the Les Paul shapes, so it was only natural that I got one of the Court CR range. One of my students bought this guitar, and I think after playing it for a bit, they sort of, when I was teaching them, they were very much in like the rock kind of vein of stuff, and then realised actually they were more into like singer-songwriter, folk, country, and they sort of didn't feel that like a Les Paul shape was sort of evocative of that, which I guess isn't wrong. So I bought it off them because it was a nice guitar. I remember it well. I remember doing the review for this guitar when my student bought it and really liked it and was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get myself a custom. And then, yeah, bought it back. Hell yeah. If you've been around this channel for longer than a couple months, you've heard this guitar. Court, again, shockingly. Favourite brand, KX508 MS. Nearly remembered it. For chunkiness, basically, I got an 8-string because I thought, wouldn't it be dope if you got this fundamentally metal machine, and you could play smooth jazz with it, and you know what? It's really satisfying. So here we go. Still very much learning the 8-string, but it's kind of reinvigorated my my want to get better and play more different styles. One of the many lies we tell ourselves as guitarists when we buy loads of kit is that these instruments all do different things. Yes, they are all basically guitars, but a bass guitar is different to an acoustic guitar, different to a cigar box guitar, different to an 8-string guitar. But actually, really, like, I have a Telecaster, a Super Strat, and a Les Paul. Those are the 3 types of guitar I have. And yeah, I have the old ones I started on, but those are just relics. I don't actually play them. Those are the 3 ones that are actually just guitars, but they all sound so different. And like, if you're a guitarist, you know that. So really, I only own 3 guitars, and that's the ultimate thing to take away here. You know what? I don't have a specific video to plug at the end here, which I really should. There's loads of stuff on this channel. I've been here for flippin' years, and I'm going to keep doing guitar videos. 2 weekly live streams on this channel as well. And please, for the love of Christ, listen to my music on Spotify and sign up to my mailing list. There you go. There's some stuff to go do. See you later.